Hello. So I'm really excited that starting on June 2nd, I am going to be sharing with you every single day a tiny little short video that expresses the lesson that I'm working on that day as part of my spiritual practice. And each lesson that I get each day comes from the book I have called A Course in Miracles. And what these lessons each day are doing is training my mind to listen to the voice of spirit instead of the voice of ego. And what I want to do before I start those lessons is just talk a little bit about those two words, ego and spirit, so we have a clear understanding or a similar understanding to what we're talking about in this frame of reference. Oftentimes when we hear the word ego, we think of boasting or being prideful or conceited. That's not what ego means when we're talking about spiritual or metaphysical terms. And as I mentioned in my first video, ego we can think of as edging God out. It is the voice that more than likely we are listening to most of the time, if not all of the time. We may not even be aware of it. But ego is constantly commenting on whatever's going on around us. It's the voice that's telling the stories about what's going on around us. It's giving judgments, and it's giving usually a negative, unloving spin of perhaps comparison, or as I said, judgment, a sense of feeling separate. It's not kind. And this is the commentary that we hear running in our mind, either on the people or circumstances around us or towards ourself, that self-talk. And it so permeates society that we may not even realize that that's the voice we're listening to. And the Course says that ego speaks first and ego speaks loudest, because imagine that's what most people, that's the frequency just about everyone is tuned into. So it's going to feel like it has a stronger signal. And it's just easier to pick up on because it's the frequency that we are thinking at most of the time as well. So what these lessons are going to do is train our minds to undo the thinking of ego and kind of rewire our mind to start listening to the frequency of spirit. That voice, that spirit voice of love and acceptance, of peace and joy, is there all of the time. We are just not tuning into it. So these lessons allow us to start to train ourselves to hear the difference and to choose to listen to spirit and to ask spirit for intervention and for help to connect to that part of ourself that is wisdom, not to the part of ourself that is looking to cause conflict and judgment and despair, which then leads to anxiety and depression and worry and upset. So what the Course clearly says is, if we are at any time not feeling 100% at peace, calm, clear, then there's something in our thinking that needs to be adjusted. And if you've listened to any of my other videos, I have said so many times it is not the outside circumstances, people, and events that is causing our upset. It is our thoughts about what is going on around us. So we're going to be retraining our thoughts to think in line with spirit, which is love and joy and peace. For if we are not experiencing that, that's our natural state. Without our thoughts, our stories, our judgments, our natural state is just that: peace, calm, clarity, love. So if we're not experiencing that, we right away need to check our thoughts. So that's what each of these daily lessons will be, is a anchor for you to check your thoughts when you're upset, when you're veering off into anxiety, fear, worry, depression, all of those lovely things that we encounter all throughout the day. It's a wonderful anchor to pull us back in, repeat the lesson to ourselves, take a couple deep breaths, all the while training ourselves to think the way spirit thinks, the way our true essence should be thinking in order to experience true happiness, peace, and joy. So with that being said, I look forward to those of you that will be joining me along my path, learning and growing in peace and love and joy and understanding of who we really are. And that comes when we stop listening to that ego voice and tune in to Holy Spirit voice. Have a great day, and I so look forward to starting the course with you on June 2nd.